Hello everybody. We're gonna be making this super clever little stuffed sculpture. And so what this is lunch bag, and I've been using stamps on it, and then I've stuffed it with homework. I'm gonna show you how to do one of these today. They're gonna be really fast, simple, easy, and they're just fun to do, and you could make these at home as well. So to start with, what I'm gonna do is get my brown paper bag, and I'm going to fold the bottom like a V, and I'm going to take my scissors and just cut along that V like so, and then put this aside. I'll use this later. And then I'm going to open up the bag, and the bag always has like some printed blue thing here. You're gonna write your first and your last name and your hour and table number. Okay, so do all that. So then what I'm gonna do is I've got some stamps, and if you wanna practice some stamps in your folder first, I think that would be a good idea. Because then you're gonna know for sure you like them. So you're gonna have this stamp. You're gonna have all of these stamp pad. You're gonna have all of these stamps, and after you've practiced them in your folder, all right, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that paper and you're gonna stamp on the paper. So I'm gonna start with the stamp, my favorite one. Okay, so out of all the stamps I've picked, this is like the one that I really like. So I'm gonna stamp, and I'm just gonna stagger these. Now let's say you wanna do this, but you don't have a stamp pad at home. Well, you could color the stamp pad with a marker, and that would work. You don't have to have a stamp pad. I'm gonna leave my stamp like this so that I know what it is and everybody else knows what it is. I'll put it over here. And then I'm gonna pick some other stuff that I could do around . I think that looks good. All right, so now I'm going to cut it into a shape. My shape. Now, if you're like, I want to do the easiest thing possible, I think there's nothing easier than a heart. They're super easy to do. So I could do a heart shape. All right. I could do a letter of my name. Like here's one that I'm making into an M, but I still need to stuff it. Okay, so if I'm making a letter, I want to refer to this sheet, and I want to think about, is the letter symmetrical? Like, can I split it in half some way, or what's it look like? But I want to use this box, okay, to do it so that my letter is as big as possible. For a B, that letter is more symmetrical this way. Okay, so what that means is if I take my B and split it in half, the halfway point is like right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by making, and I want this to be super, super thick, so I'm not cutting much out. I want to cut as little as I can because I want this to be mostly paper. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna get my scissors. I'm gonna cut this out. And then I'm going to take and fold this, make a little snip, and I'm gonna cut the whole of my B. And I think a good rule of thumb when you're cutting these is if you can put all 4 fingers on the space, I think you'll be successful. Now when I fold this out, it's going to be 4 fingers. So when I open it up, here's my B. This is, you know, pretty close to 4 fingers. All right, so I haven't cut these edges right here because I want that, you know, if I don't have to cut it, that's better. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put glue on the inside. Okay, then I'm going to just press that and hold it. And then I'm gonna have this be my stuffing area. So I'm also gonna glue this area down here because I think I'll maybe leave a gap right here and right here so I can stuff a little here, but these, like, the curves are better to glue. The straight edges are better for, it's easier to glue those later if they're straight. Okay, so again, why am I leaving this blank? Because this is where I'm gonna stuff paper in later. So I'm just gonna glue those together. Write your first and last name. I'm back to day 2, and I'm going to start stuffing my letter. Okay, so as you can see, I've just been using some of my scrap stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna stuff it, and you wanna stuff it loosely. Don't overstuff it. Okay, then once I stuff it, I'm just gonna put a little glue on it, like so. So you can see I'm just gluing the edge, and I'm going to hold it with my fingers, and I'm going to count to 25. Okay, so I counted to 25, and this is stuck. It's not super stuck. I mean, it still might give way because it's kind of wet still, but I think it's pretty much stuck. So now I'm gonna glue this side, and I'll tell you right here, this was a little wet and I should have slowed down, but that's okay. I'll make do. So now I'm gonna throw more scraps into here for stuffing. Again, your homework is a wonderful thing to stuff this with that has been graded and you're done with it. And you want to tear it into bits, and then when you smush it, you don't have to smush it super tight. Just smush it kind of loose and stick it in there. There we go. And then I'm going to glue and hold for 25 seconds. Now I had this little hole right here, so I'm just gonna stick some paper over that. Now my letter has been stuffed, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my paper punch and I'm going to go down and punch a hole, and I can put my finger between the edge of the paper and the hole. So I'm not punching right on the edge. I'm punching in a ways. I'm going in as far as I can. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some ribbon, cut that, and I'm gonna put that through the hole. I'm going to make a fish like this. Come on, ribbon, cooperate. So I'm making a fish like this. So here's the tail, it goes around, and the tail's going through the fish. And then I'm gonna make another fish, go through the tail. Then I'm gonna come over here fish, go through the tail, and then I'm going to open up my scissor. I'm gonna put my scissor and my thumb with the ribbon in between, and I'm going to pull, scissor, ribbon, thumb, pull. That's called curling your ribbon, and there is my sculpture made out of paper with stuffing. This one's got baseball on it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Middle School Art Mania and become a maniac.